Hello UFO lovers! Today we'll be analyzing 4 different UFO clips as well as listening to Art Bell talk about his UFO experience on Analyzing Today's UFO Clips episode 45. For those who are new to this channel, I like to start off by saying that this is a series where we analyze UFO clips that you or anyone else can find on the internet. Sure, we all want to get to the bottom of this UFO mystery, but here it's our guilty pleasure to watch and analyze UFO clips because, well, we love the UFOs, right? So let's get right into it. Here's our first clip. Let's go ahead and watch it first, and then discuss.
What the fuck is that? No fucking way, dude. Holy shit.
This clip is going to be the first of a few in this episode that have that human emotion that I speak of sometimes. It's one thing to see a UFO video of a craft floating through the sky with music in the background, and it's another to hear what the person recording thinks and feels as they watch it. In this case, you can clearly hear that this man recording is genuinely astonished by what he's looking at. And I would be too. I mean, can you imagine being in the woods at night by yourself and something weird starts flying across the sky? Man, I tell you that I probably think I'd be getting abducted or something. But what is he looking at? Well, whatever it is long and bright, and doesn't look like any airplane that I've seen. No FAA blinking lights or anything that resembles an airplane. And if we zoom in, is it just me or is this thing wobbling or undulating in the air? Not sure what this could be, but if we wanted to say that this was made on Earth, then maybe it's one of Elon's Starlink satellites? And you know what, I really don't know, but the emotion of the guy recording really is what gets to me, and that's why I thought I'd share it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let's move on. Next is a clip that I've been told is an old one. Let's go ahead and watch. So what do you think? There's a couple of reasons I wanted to share this clip. One is because of the human emotion that I spoke of already. And 2, because I know people who swear to me that they've seen something like this in the past. One of my friends says that when she was little during school and in broad daylight, her whole class witnessed an orb on the horizon that would travel at incredible speeds from one end of the horizon to the other. And then to their amazement, out of this one orb, several different orbs shot out of it and started scouting the area. Then they would come right back to that same orb. When I saw this clip, it reminded me of her experience. Now, all that being said, there are people out there saying that this could very well be a fake, and that even 12 years ago, this could have been made easily by some video graphic software. So I ask you, is this real or fake? Have you guys seen anything like this yourselves? Let us know in the comments down below. Next, we're going to get into triangles, starting with this really cool clip. Let's check it out.
It doesn't look like a plane. From here, it looks like a triangle.
It is a triangle with a red light in the middle.
Wow. Wow. That's a weird looking craft.
It is. The red light is right in the center of the triangle. That's unusual. That is weird. Now this is where you need to zoom in.
There's something right beside that tree. There's stuff moving in the bushes beside us.
That is amazing.
It didn't have a tail, that's what I noticed.
No, it didn't.
Again with that human element. It just really makes me think that this recording is genuine. To me, this type of clip really is as real as it gets. Two people walking outside and catching something extraordinary in the sky. The couple is genuinely intrigued by what they're looking at, and at one point the woman says,
That is amazing.
and I mean, yeah, it is. Something that I also wanted to point out is that at the beginning of the clip, the triangle seems to have two blinking lights in the middle, and then later one shuts down and we can only see one red light in the middle afterwards. Classic triangle UFO sighting. A pitch black triangle, a light at each corner, and a red blinking light in the middle. People, there's no question these things exist. I guess the only question is, are these craft ours, or could they be from somewhere else? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Next is a clip which most of you have probably already seen, but let's go ahead and watch and talk about it afterwards. This is one of the best UFO clips out there. It's said to have been filmed in Central America, and it shows somebody grabbing their camera to record something just outside their room. And again, a classic triangle UFO. Dark triangle, lights on each end, and a red light in the middle. Now I wish I could tell you we could zoom in and find some detail in this clip, but we really can't. Most cell phone videos won't really let you do that. Just one thing I did notice, however, is that this thing seems to kind of rotate in the air towards the end of the video here. Truly amazing. Again, these things are real. One of my relatives saw one in the early 80s. And do you know who else saw one? One of my heroes, Art Bell. For those who don't know him, Art was the host of a paranormal-themed radio show back in the 90s and 2000s. And to many of us, Art inspired us to have an open mind and be curious about what's behind that curtain of reality. He himself also had a triangle UFO sighting, and here he is talking about his experience. And with this clip, I leave you guys for today. Please take a listen to Art's story. It really is worth listening to. And as always, this is Jesse. Subscribe, like, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Here is Art Bell.
Before I get to John, and we have in radio the luxury of a lot of time, John is on the line and able to hear what I'm saying right now. And I guess I'm going to begin this show with my experience, so it's out of the way. And I'm going to relate this experience to you because it really, in some ways, accounts for why John is here on this particular morning. Because when I saw what I saw this last Sunday, I picked up the phone the moment I hit the house and called John Lear's house. Unfortunately, at that point, got a tape and related briefly my experience. And John called me the next day, and it was like a confession or something. I had to get hold of John. So here's what happened briefly this last Sunday, and I will neither, if I'm able, add to it or detract from it. I'm going to tell you the story just as it happened. On my way home to a little town to the west of Las Vegas, about 60 miles to the west, called Pahrump, Nevada. And I was about a mile from home, and on a street that runs from east-west, and I was traveling east to west to intersect with a street that runs north-south and would take me on the final leg home. It was about 11, it was between 11 and 11:30. I'm sorry I didn't really note the time that carefully, but somewhere in that window between 11 and 11:30, I should suspect about 11:15 or 20 would be my best guess. And I was on this final street, and all of a sudden, you'll recall the moon was a bit fuller than it is now, so it was fairly well lit up. The weather conditions were calm. If there was a breeze, it was a very, very light breeze, as to be insignificant. My wife caught something, I guess, out of the corner of her eye and turned around, looked out the back window and said, "What in the hell is that?" I said, "I don't know." And I stopped the car and turned off the headlights and rolled down my window. And coming up from behind us, just off the driver's side, was something large. I would guesstimate it would be 100 feet across. Absolutely triangular. And I would guess it to be at about 150 feet in altitude. And it was coming up literally behind us. Its direction of travel was roughly east-southeast and traveling towards the west-northwest. And it was lit. There were 2 white lights and 1 strobing red light. Strobing at a rate faster than you would associate with normal aviation traffic. The object was moving very slowly. The word I would use to describe its movement was more floating. Certainly it was going at a rate that would not sustain conventional aircraft in flight. There just wouldn't be enough lift at that speed. So it was floating, and it literally floated right across or very nearly across the top of my car, just a little off to the driver's side. And I'll tell you, the sky was lit well enough that when I looked up at it, I was able to discern the substance of it. And it was black and solid and triangular. And it moved out and across my area very slowly, floated out across, and continued to float in a west-northwesterly direction until I could see it literally going across the entire valley, and I was able to keep sight of it for, I don't know, maybe as much as 3 or 4 minutes, somewhere in there, and then I finally lost sight of it. So I have absolutely no idea what I saw, except that it was large. It was precisely as I described to you. It wasn't a guess. It was not an indistinct light. This was, without question, a craft. The question is, was it a craft that our military has, that we don't know that they have, or was it from someplace else? I don't know. I would suspect the first before the second, but certainly either one is possible. So that was my experience. I'm 48 years old. I've never seen one of these things before. I didn't think I ever would see one, but I did. My wife was witness as well. I actually put her on the air the other morning for about 30 seconds, just because I didn't want to be out there twisting slowly in the breeze by myself. And I'm still thinking about all this. So there it is. for what it is, for what it's worth, that's my story, and I swear to you, it is true.